Hi, my name is Mushala Mutiba and I'm the founder of Mahlogonolo Thobile Foundation. Today on our podcast, we're hosting a beautiful woman. She's a preemie mom to a warrior. Welcome, Mashudu.
Thank you, Mushala, for having me to your podcast. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. In 2023, you fell pregnant. I'm sure you were very excited when you found out your family is expecting a little one.
Truthfully, I didn't enjoy my pregnancy at all because when I went to the hospital, I was diagnosed with Hyperemesis Gravidarum and I was throwing up throughout my pregnancy. I couldn't drink anything, I couldn't eat anything, so I was starving the whole time. Now and then I had to go to the hospital to have drips.
Can you take us through what causes that?
So basically, Hyperemesis gravidarum is when you have a severe morning sickness. Unfortunately for me, it was throughout my pregnancy until I gave birth.
Wow. Guess we learn every day, hey?
Yeah.
Because many parents enjoy their pregnancies. Sometimes it's smooth. So unfortunately, yours had its own challenges.
Yeah, because when I was talking to one of my friends, she actually said to me, "No, Shudu, don't worry, you'll get better at your second trimester." I waited for that second trimester, but I still kept on going, and I got worse and worse to a point where I was vomiting blood.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm really sorry. How far was the pregnancy when you gave birth?
Before that, when the doctor checked the scan, he noticed that I had I was carrying twins, but then one of the twins disappeared during the pregnancy at 15 weeks. It just disappeared. It couldn't be found. The only thing that was left there was a sac. So, but then I asked, why is that? He said, no, it happens. It does affect some of the parents, but I shouldn't be worried that I should be sick or anything. And then when I gave birth at 31 weeks, which I think it's 7 months of my pregnancy. And before that, I got hospitalized again for a week because I couldn't walk. I had stomach pain, or I had a very sharp pain on my groin. And on that day I was at work. One of my colleagues actually had to wheel me to the car. Oh. And then when I got home, I couldn't do anything. I was in excruciating pain. And then I decided to go to one of the hospital, and when I got there, they said to me, unfortunately, they can't assist me because I'm pregnant. I need to go to the hospital where they deal with pregnant moms. Then I went to one of the hospital. They directed me to the hospital that actually can help me. When I got there, I was admitted, and then they checked. They said, no, I'm not in labor. The next day, my doctor came because I was admitted very late at night. The next day, I saw my gynae. He told me that I'm undergoing something called fibroid degeneration. Then I asked, what is that? Because I had no idea there's something like that. Yeah. So he told me that basically what is happening is the baby cuts the blood supply to the fibroids, hence causing the pain. Then they monitored me for a week. They gave me painkillers and it didn't work.
I can imagine a week of pain, excruciating pain, not just a mild pain.
Yeah.
Wow. And a week after you gave birth?
I was hospitalized for 7 days. The day I was actually supposed to be discharged, it was the 1st of October. And then early hours of the morning, I experienced diarrhea, a very severe diarrhea. And I called the nurses. They came to check my blood pressure. They checked the baby's heart rate. They checked the contraction. Then they said, no, I am fine. But then my diarrhea kept on getting worse. And they told me that diarrhea is a sign of you being in labor. But I wasn't in labor. Then later on, after an hour, they came back again, and when they checked the baby's heart, it was reading off the chart. So they continued to check it, and still it never came right until earlier that morning. my doctor came, and he sent someone. Actually, it was a different doctor now because he was off. Then that doctor, she told me that I need to have an emergency Caesar because the baby is tachycardic. So one of the fibroid was actually pressing against the baby's heart.
And that's how you gave birth?
That's how I gave birth prematurely.
Was it a C-section or it was a natural birth?
It was a C-section, unfortunately, because also I really went through a lot, because in that moment I wasn't ready for a C-section, and I was stressed out that it's my first time babe. I'm a first-time mom and I'm giving birth prematurely. I had no idea what premature is, and I just, in that moment, I just broke down. It was so stressful for me. I couldn't even make any decisions. And then they took me through it and everything. And then in that moment, they found out that also I'm a bleeder. So a lot happened on the day that if they do the normal Caesar, where I don't know how they do it, they say they inject you in your spine. The possibilities where I was going to bleed into my spine. So I had to be under general anesthesia, where they put me to sleep totally. And then they made my body retransfuse itself. I don't know how it works. I was connected to lots of machines. So yeah, that's how they monitored me. And then as I was having that Caesar, I was told that my fibroids were necrotic. They were turning black, because the aim was to actually only remove the baby. But before we went into theater, my doctor explained to me that if this is happening, we might have to remove the uterus. Like, imagine first time,
baby.
My first baby. And then somebody tells me that I really was expecting the worst. I didn't know what to think, what to say. But then she managed to save my uterus, and in that moment she had to remove the fibroids because they were necrotic, all 3 fibroids. And there were small fibroids growing in there, and they told me that they had to bend them.
You went through the most.
Yeah.
But I'm grateful that the doctors were able to save you and the baby during that moment.
Yes, they were actually. I believe they were good doctors, because they said I bled quite a lot and I kind of struggled to come back to life, but they managed to. And when I woke up, I was in high care ICU. And I was there for about 4 or 5 days, if I'm not mistaken. And in those days, I couldn't sleep at all. I was on oxygen and I was going through hallucinations. Every time when I close my eyes, I'll just feel like the doctors, they are ripping open my bandages again and again. So I had to stay awake throughout that time. And also, I didn't even see my baby for those 4 days I was in ICU. So after 4 days, they took me to postnatal ward, where I was able to see the baby.
So your first reaction after 4 days, spending 4 days of not seeing your child, what was your first reaction when you went into the neonatal?
Okay, actually, because the father of the baby, he came and he showed me pictures, and the pictures were quite deceiving. I thought, oh, this baby is big. And in my mind, actually, before I went into theater, I thought that when I was having that Caesar, the baby was going to go home and I'll be left here at the hospital, only to find out it's actually opposite. So when I was in postnatal ward, they asked me to come see the baby. I remember I went there early in the morning around 8 o'clock, and I went in, and the next minute I'm just seeing babies everywhere. So it wasn't really a nice experience. And then they showed me to my baby's incubator, but I wasn't ready to see the baby. They had to actually force me, because from far I could see that that baby is tiny, and from my time growing up, I never liked infants. I was scared of them. And then now I'm in that kind of situation myself. I felt scared. I was overwhelmed. I didn't even know what to say. I just couldn't touch that baby. I just told them, you know what, I'm not mentally ready. It's fine. I can see the baby's incubator. I will try again. I had to go back. I couldn't stand it.
Whew.
Yeah.
Just sitting here with you, having this conversation, I'm just trying to put myself in your shoes, but it's very difficult because my experience was totally different compared to yours. So after how many days did you eventually accept that this is the situation that you are in?
You'll actually be surprised. I actually came back to my senses after about 14 days. I got discharged I left the baby after a week. I went home. And then still, it was difficult coming back, but I still tried. I would come with the father, at least he will be there for emotional support, to support me throughout the way. But it took me about 14, almost 2 weeks to get used to it.
So when the baby was in the NICU, did he encounter any challenges? How was his NICU stay?
Okay, so, well, I believe he was lucky because he wasn't a sick child. He was healthy, he was never sick, but the only problem we had, which the pediatrician told me that it's only normal, it does happen to a lot of babies, is the vomiting. But then for him, I felt like it was worse because he would vomit after each and every meal. They changed him into different meals, breast milk, they tried preemie, they tried Novolec, everything, whatever he eats. Even today, he still vomits. It hasn't corrected at all. So that was the thing that was keeping him for longer at the hospital because of the vomit. So he was struggling to gain weight.
Okay. So you mentioned that because of him vomiting everything that he was fed, and that led to your warriors staying longer in hospital.
Yeah, actually he stayed 47 days at the hospital. So every day, each and every day, I only missed when I was sick, for about 5 days. But thereafter, since then, I was always at the hospital. Monday to Monday, every night I'll spend the whole day there from 7 o'clock until 8:30 in the evening. That's when I'll leave at the hospital.
Wow. So it means that I was not the only one who would spend the whole day at the hospital, just to make sure that every visiting hours you are there on time to see the baby.
Yes.
And oh wow. Yeah. Okay. So when the baby was, what did the doctors tell you, or the nurses in the neonatal intensive care unit, did they tell you earlier that on this particular day your baby will be discharged, or it was just a surprise as well?
Actually, the first day when I went there, my doctor said to me, there's a possibility that probably in 2 weeks' time, I might take the baby home. I was very excited, and then the sister in charge, she invited me to stay for KMC, Kangaroo care,
Skin to skin care, yes.
To skin care. Then I was lucky to spend time with the baby for 3 days, and then they had to take the baby home. I don't know for what reason, and they asked me to go back home. And then 2 days later, they said, well, a day before, they told me that tomorrow you are taking the baby if he is 2 kgs. So when they weighed him, he was on the dot 2 kgs, and I was excited. I took him home from the 1st of October. He was there until the 17th of November. That's when I took him home.
This was a journey that you
Was.
had to walk through.
Yeah, it was quite difficult.
So eventually he graduated out of the neonatal intensive care unit.
Yes.
It was a happy moment for your family,
Yeah.
and also for the nurses in the neonatal,
Yes.
including the doctors, because they
Yes,
always want to
of
see our kids go home, because that's where
Yeah,
they
of
belong.
course.
The first night at home, did you even sleep, or you kept awake the whole night?
Unfortunately, I couldn't sleep. I was scared because when I left, they said, "No, you need to check the baby. If the baby is breathing, you have to check the breathing. Every time when you feed the baby, make sure you are awake." There's
I want to find out, since the baby left the hospital, did you encounter challenges where he had to be readmitted, or he was just a fine baby? He never went back to being readmitted. He only went back to the doctor for the follow-up visits or clinic visits.
Yeah. Actually, I think I was paranoid and I was stressed out. I was very stressed. I don't want to lie, honestly, because I'm the first time mom. I'm alone. I have nobody, literally no one, no support. I'm all by myself and the father to support me, to take me through every emotion that I'm going through. So I remember this one night where I don't know what happened. It was 30 minutes after I fed my baby, and he started twitching, he was choking, he was vomiting. I had to wake up immediately. We ran back to the hospital and they said, "No, don't worry, the baby is fine." And I thought the baby wasn't breathing at all. And this child was nicely sleeping. They tried waking him up. He was just fine. He didn't want to wake up. So yeah, otherwise he was never readmitted. He's still healthy. He's a healthy child. Even when I took him to his doctor for follow-up visits, she said he is doing well. He's growing well. So far, I haven't experienced any issues with him.
Oh, that's wonderful. It's wonderful to hear that since you left hospital, things have been going great for your family. And we're happy to hear that, you know. And how old is he today?
He's 6 months.
Wow, he's
Yeah.
such a big boy.
Thank you.
I saw the family recently had a beautiful photo shoot.
Yes.
And he was all smiles. I'm like, does he even understand what is happening?
I don't think he does. I don't think he has any idea. I mean, the reason for the photo shoot, it was just to welcome him because I failed to have the pregnancy photo shoot. So I thought I should just do something nice for him to remember him by.
You know, I know many of our families, we don't get an opportunity to have a baby shower.
Yes.
Those maternity shoots, it's just a dream for
Yeah,
us on this
yeah,
journey.
true.
And I'm glad that you made up for it after the baby came home.
Yeah.
And you like, let me welcome my baby in this special way. And those are also memories for him.
Yeah.
You know, one day you will take those photos and show him and tell him this journey that you encountered with him.
Yeah.
That's great. And how was your partner's support along this journey? How was hubby supporting you on this journey?
Well, he was quite supportive, even though we both first-time parents and we had no idea what we're doing. I just remember growing up with my granny. She used to take care of the baby, so I would actually help. But for him, he was clueless. He didn't even know how to change the diapers, so everything was on me, but he was supportive. He was always there.
That's nice. You know, we want present fathers today. You know,
Yeah.
things have changed.
True.
You know, and it's beautiful to see fathers who are involved, especially on our journey. It's quite a lonely journey.
Yes.
And having a partner who's present, it's a bonus.
Yeah.
We are forever grateful for our present partners.
Yeah.
So, Shudu, now that your son is 6 months old and you've been on this journey
Yeah.
with him and hubby, and how has it been for the family? How did it affect your family?
Me, the father and the baby, or?
Just this whole experience, how was it for your family?
Honestly, for me, I'm still kind of trying to recover because I had postnatal depression. I was depressed, and the sickness took a toll on me, and I was still recovering emotionally, mentally, physically. I was just trying to recover, which is quite hard. Even though he's there sometimes, I just dawn in my own little space and feel like I'm alone. Why is this happening and everything?
Yeah.
So it's not an easy journey. You can't just wake up tomorrow and say, no, I'm fine, everything goes back to normal.
Yes.
It doesn't work like that.
No, that's true. I know with prematurity, it's one of those challenging journeys. It's a roller coaster, right?
Yeah.
Today you are up here, tomorrow the baby has taken 10 steps back, and you must adjust in the midst of all those things. So did you consider seeing a professional to speak to, like a clinical psychologist, or you only spoke to your doctor?
I spoke to my doctor, and then he said no for now because the baby is still small. When I went back for my 6-week post-birth visit, he said to me, if ever I feel like I can't cope, I can't manage, I must come back to him. He will refer me to a psychologist. But then I think I did need a psychologist. I think I do. I need a psychologist. But you know how Black people are. We don't really take those kind of things seriously. So I never went to a psychologist. I think I should go.
Okay. Yeah, no, I always advise families to seek professional help.
Yeah.
Because our journey is quite traumatic, and it's not something that is often spoken publicly about.
Yeah.
And also, as much as you've got your partner supporting you, I feel that sometimes we bottle up things.
Yes, we do.
And with me, I was seeing professionals. So that's how I eventually started healing. Healing doesn't happen overnight. It took years.
Yeah.
That's why today I'm comfortable to talk about my experience publicly. So I want to find out how you got to know about our organization. Now that you are part of the tribe, you've joined the many women, the many families that are part of what we call the tribe in our organization. How did you find out about this organization that gives support to preemie families?
I actually found out from my baby speech therapist at the hospital. When my baby was about to be discharged, she told me that she knows this organization, Mahlogonolo Thobile Foundation, and she gave me the numbers. She said to me, if ever I feel like I need support, you will help. The mummies there, the preemie mummies, their family, they will take me through the journey, and I'm not alone. I'm not the only one going through this. So that's when I contacted you.
Shudu, so you and I were not the first nor the last to give birth prematurely.
Yes.
In every 10 deliveries, there is a preemie. Therefore, what message would you give to a family that has just embarked on this journey, that are like you and me, that knew nothing about this journey? What message would you give to them?
Okay, I would say to them, they need to really take care of their mental health. Above all, they need to pray. Prayer is everything. For comfort, if they can, they need to seek for professional help. And they are not alone. They need to speak to whoever they feel comfortable with. They need to let it out, and they mustn't worry that maybe the baby's too small and everything. I mean, they are too small. It's like scary small. But they shouldn't worry much about that, because the doctors, the nurses are working around the clock to make sure that your baby gets better, your baby gets graduated, you can take the baby home. And
No, thank you so much, Shudu, for taking your time to join us on our podcast. We really appreciate it. And I'd also like to thank Catherine. She's the speech therapist we met at Life Brainhurst Hospital. She's helping us.
Yeah.
on this organization to spread the word. She supports the work we do. She says it's great to offer support to all preemie families. And thank you so much that you came through today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
To our viewers, please visit our website. It's www.mahlogonolothobile.org and follow us on the next episode that's coming soon. Thank you. Bye-bye for now.